Have you ever tried to color with your Wink of Stella? Today I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is. And beautiful. So we're going to play with the Fully Flowering Ephemera pack. And these are new in the 2024-25 annual catalog. And they come with a set of 4 different flowers. And these are all just punch out items that you can easily use on your cards or in your scrapbook pages. And so today I want to use ones that are black and white. And I think I'm going to go for this one right here, but I already have it. It comes in a pack where you get 2 each of these pieces. And so I already have some that I've already been using, and I have that one right there, which I'm just going to pop out, and that's what we are going to work with. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull in some of my classic stamp pads, and I've pulled in Lemon Lolly and Calypso Coral. And what you want to do is you want to make sure you have some ink in the reservoir, so in the bottom of the plastic itself. And if you don't, which I don't on this one, what you want to do is when it's still closed is you want to press it together. And normally I find that if I press it more on the back side, I'm pressing it in both places, I'm hoping that you can see that, I can leave myself a pool of color like that. So what I'm going to do is just pick up my Wink of Stella, and we are just going to pick up color and color right away. So I'm just going to pick up some of that yellow and go into the center, and I'm just coloring out from the center. And I'm going to have yellow centers, and we're going to have coral on the rest of our card. Now I'm going to hold this up in just a minute so that hopefully you can see the shimmer that you end up getting when you color with your Wink of Stella. So I'm hoping that you can see that. Now what you can also do is pull in your silicone craft sheet, and you can just give yourself a little pool of the Wink of Stella. So I'm pressing the Wink of Stella, it says push here, and what happens is it goes down into this reservoir. And I may have picked up one that is actually a little bit, there we go, a little bit getting used up. So I'm creating a little pool of color, and it's going to intensify the amount of that glimmer. So if you really like a lot of glimmer, go ahead and do that and pull that in. So the paper on these ephemera packs I found is great for doing this. It's a little bit stronger so that you can go in and add this color without warping the paper too much. So I'm going to go around the outside edges, and I'm going to bring in some of that Calypso Coral, and I want it to fade out as it comes into the middle and meets that yellow so that we have a little bit of both colors. So on the back petals, it can be a little bit darker, and I wouldn't worry too much if you're a little bit darker, a little bit lighter. It'll still look great when you're done. But the back petals are the ones that are in behind. So you can always give them just a little bit of color. You don't have to pick up color every time. If you want, you can go for a little bit lighter color. You can also take some of that color off on your silicone craft sheet when you're painting. So this is quite a fun way to create some color on these ephemera packs. Now one thing I've noticed on this particular one is the leaves are all black, so you don't have to worry about coloring any green in here. So this is great if you wanted to take these on a trip, or if you are going somewhere, spending the day somewhere. I'm going to give this one just a little bit darker, I think, if I can pick up some dark. There we go. So that you can get your coloring done. So I'm going to just fast forward through the rest of this coloring because it is the same process, and I'll come back to you at the end. So now that we have one base coat down, I'm going to go in with a little bit darker, pick up some of this again and go in where the lines are here and just add myself some wiggly lines. I'm not really trying to, I'm following the lines, but I'm not worrying too much about being exactly on the lines. I just want a little bit of definition, and these will sort of fade into the color as well. Get a little bit darker on that guy there. So this is a great way just to add some detail, let the lines do the work for you, really. They've already done the work for us. And it just adds a little bit more depth to the image. I'm going to hold that up again so that you can see it in the shimmer. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of some of that orange and I'm going to go back into the yellow. Pick up a little bit more of that glimmer, go back into the yellow and bring it out just a little bit further. So it's going to blend right into that coral. Pick up that. I want it really shimmery on the inside. A little bit more yellow, just brighten it up a little bit, and it will create a new color. So it will create a new color that we can use in our flowers. So I'm going to just let that dry. It won't take very long to dry, but I can see that there's a sheen lying on the top of it. And if I wanted, I could put some green on here, but I'm not going to put green onto the fronds themselves. Now while that's drying, let's go on with the rest of the card. I'm going to use the Unbounded Love bundle, and this is a lovely bundle that has all kinds of words and some great different dies that you can use to frame the words. And there's also these cool detailed leaves, which we're not using today, or these they remind me of hollyhocks or something like that. But what we're going to use is some frames today. So I have pulled in the You're a True Blessing. I'm going to pull in my Calypso Coral on the little pad that comes with the glass mat and a piece of white, and I'm going to actually stamp on top of my silicone craft sheet, just making sure I don't go over that Wink of Stella. So this is Calypso Coral on top of the white, right in the middle where I can get the best use out of it, and I'm going to cut this out with this tiny little rectangle that has the scallops on it. So I'm just going to put this in my mini Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. I think I am going to put a little Post-it note, and I've just purchased little ones like these, and I reuse them a few times. And I want to make sure that's as straight as possible and centered as possible, and then put my other piece back on and go ahead and give that a run through. So this is it cut out. So a tiny little bit. Now what's sort of cool about this is that it has a little frame already done here. So I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool and I'm just going to poke out that frame as well. And we're going to use the frame also. So that's what's sort of neat about this set of dies is that it has that, and it happens in a couple different places. It also creates the frame around this one, which is a neat effect. So these are the three pieces that I'm going to use, and I'm going to put this one on with a dimensional. And I have my dimensionals right here. I'm using up the sides of my dimensionals, which is a great way to get a bigger bang for your buck. So that is going to go right in the middle here. And then I'm going to glue down this one over top, but I'm going to glue it down in behind. So you do need to be, you could have glued this one down first, I guess. I'm maybe doing it backwards, but whatever way works for you. So I'm just putting little tiny dots of my liquid glue onto the scalloped edge all the way around. Just one dot will do ya in each of those scallops. And then I'm going to use my tweezers and I'm going to lift it up and I'm going to take it and I'm going to sort of slide this under I'm going to start at the top, slide that sort of on the top, press it down so that it goes right around it. If I can get it there, let it go and then press it down. So yeah, you could do it the opposite way if you wanted. Whoops, now it wants to move. So just pick that up with my fingers and just make sure that that is glued down. So you can try and do that first if you want and get it in the center and then put that one on the middle. Might just be a little bit easier for you. And then what you can see is a little bit of that Calypso Coral just underneath. So let's go on to the rest of the card because this looks pretty dry and it can dry on the card too. So I have to think about which way that's going to go. So here is a piece of Calypso Coral and I have cut this and I've scored it already, and you can get all the measurements on my blog. So this piece here I'm going to fold in half. This is the back of the card. Use your bone folder to give it a crisp edge, and then I'm going to also pull this back. So it's just one of the simplest folds that you can do, which is a reverse fold. Inside of the card I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue and just glue this down right in the middle. And then I'm going to take the distressed tile embossing folder. And this embossing folder I really like because when you use it, and it's hard to tell just from the, I'll put it in the back here, just from the folder itself, but it has areas that are less embossed than others. So I've already embossed it, so let me show you what I mean. So there are pieces here where it almost looks like the embossing is missed. That's intentional. That is not an error. That is the embossing folder itself. So that is going to go right over top, and it's going to match up with that piece in the background. So you want to make sure when you glue it down that you're matching up these corners. So the easiest way I have found to add something that is going across a fold like this is to take my glue, and within, this is sort of my guideline. If this were to continue, put my glue within that rectangle area and all the way down fairly close to that fold line. And that should be enough once it's in place for me to hold it. So let's put this here, line that up with the edge, with the top edge and the bottom edge too, to make sure I'm in the right place. There we go. So our piece is going to go on sort of in the middle, and then we're going to put our "You're a True Blessing" down on the bottom right. And I think I'm also going to pull in a little bit of ribbon. So this is our iridescent striped ribbon. I'm just going to cut myself a little piece of this, and I'm going to put that in behind my flower. So let's put some dimensionals on the back of the flower first. I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm just going to turn it into a loop, and I'm going to press it down on top of some glue. So this is my seal right here, and I'm going to press that down. Because this is so fine, the glue does go right through, but I am, just to be sure, going to put another little piece of glue right over top of the ribbon so that it does adhere properly. So I've got my ribbon on. I'm going to put my, and it will actually go right through to the bottom side that you can see. I have enough there. And I'm going to put that down with my dimensionals, put that over top, press that down, and then I'm just going to glue this one down. And I want a little bit of white showing over here. So liquid glue for this part, and just underneath there so that the ribbon provides a little bit of an embellishment right there. I'm going to use the iridescent faceted gems just to fancy this up a little bit. And I think we'll go right here. So these come in 2 sizes, which is great. And I think maybe we'll put one right down here. So there's your card. So you can see how shimmery that Wink of Stella is, a really beautiful card. Let me show you another card that I did. So this one here, totally different in that it's a black background, so it really brings out the black and white. And this one is colored with Daffodil Delight and also with Granny Apple Green. And then same die here, but I used a different stamp set for birthday wishes and a little bit of ribbon across. So 2 totally different looking cards with the color choices that you make, but I really just wanted to show how exceptional the Wink of Stella is when you color with it. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel and give it a thumbs up. And head on over to my blog at designwithjo.ca and get yourself signed up to join my email list, where I send weekly tips and tricks and lots of Stampin' Up! News, as well as what's latest in the Stampin' Up! World. Thanks very much. Have a great paper crafting day.